Welcome to Fanboy Critic, where we go watch new movies out of theaters and give you a review, both the good and the bad. I'm Jorem Ortiz, and I'll be your fanboy.
And I'm Sam McClure. I'll be your critic.
This week on Fanboy Critic, we got to watch Alien Covenant, directed by Ridley Scott.
Starring Michael Fassbender a couple times over, Catherine Waterston, Billy Crudup, and Danny McBride. This is maybe the 7th in the Alien series.
I think so.
Ridley Scott returns as director as he did for Prometheus, but let me tell you already, this is a much better story than Prometheus. Without giving too much away, the Earth ship, Covenant, gets distracted by aliens and horrible things ensue, as you might expect. Alright, Jorem. Ridley Scott is a master director, so you have to have a lot of good things to say about what he did with this film.
I think he did a great job in keeping it an alien film. I mean, right off the bat, it starts off feeling just like an alien movie. It did take a while for it to speed up into the story.
Yeah, it was really slow at the beginning.
Yeah, really slow. But when it does, it was awesome. When you finally get into the alien stuff and how it actually gets started, it blew my mind. The story's complete. You finally know how it starts. I love this movie.
Yeah, this movie does answer all the questions that Prometheus promised to answer but didn't. And I will agree that I think this felt much more like an alien movie than I've seen in a long time.
Definitely more than Prometheus.
Yeah, sure. 100% more than Prometheus. What went wrong the most is trying to make it a 2-part Prometheus, sequel, prequel.
Okay.
So I guess...
how they kept trying to drag in Prometheus, right?
Yeah, I guess this movie isn't super bad, except that, you had to watch Prometheus to get into it.
That's true.
It gets started super slow. I think the biggest thing is the trope where in all horror movies where the characters make the dumbest decisions possible. They just make the dumbest decisions, and that puts them in terrible situations. Yeah. I think I counted 4 or 5 times where the characters are like, hey, this planet where all these aliens are trying to kill us, I'm gonna go down here alone. Uh-huh. And they kept doing it, and it was of course you died. Or what's around killing people. One person is not responding to their comm unit, and they're missing, and your ride's here. Just leave that person. You know they're dead.
And they're on a planet they've never been at, and they're gonna start snooping around, touching things they don't even know, might get contaminated with things.
Anything could kill you on this planet.
Can't be that careless.
Stay put and wait for your ride, and then get out. If you don't make those decisions, I find it hard to empathize with the character. After the train wreck that was Prometheus, I think you're gonna have a hard time trying to convince the critics at home to go see another Alien prequel, but go for it. Convince the critics.
Critics, just watch this movie because the reason you watched Prometheus, you wanted answers, and they finally gave it to us. We finally know why and how the alien started, and Ridley Scott did a great job in this movie. I think it's one of his best work compared to the other films. Definitely better than Prometheus. Just watch it. We gotta find out why and how these aliens finally started.
After having seen it, I will agree that some questions are answered. You finally figure out what the space jockeys are about, and you find out where the aliens actually came from. All the questions that Prometheus was supposed to answer. Fanboys, here's why you shouldn't go see it. The CGI is pretty bad. The spaceships are good, but the aliens themselves were really whack. The original Alien with the prosthetic suit looked better.
That's what I was thinking too.
There's it's not the same type of horror that you're used to from Ridley Scott, where it's all about the tension and the building and you don't see the monster. The scariest part is that you don't see the monster. This, they show the monster in your face and he's just quick and angry and all that, and it's jump scares, but you don't get the same sense of dread, sitting around not knowing where the alien is and they're in the room, man, they're in the room, but you don't know. That's the scary part about Alien.
That's true. They didn't have that much. There wasn't that many aliens, now that I think about it.
There's only a few. The real villain was actually, spoiler alert, not one of the aliens, which I think was a fantastic thing to do, because the whole time you're watching Alien, you're okay, this mindless killing machine, it's just like monsters. But this actually did a really good job about twisting that and making it about something different. I can't, without spoiling it, there's a different sort of villain. And I think the strongest point of this movie was that the aliens weren't really the villains. And at the very end, you actually like feel that relief at the end, and then there's one slight turn at the end where you're just sitting there with all this dread in your stomach as you leave the movie, and I think that was brilliant.
Yeah.
What was your rating on this movie?
I'm gonna say I loved it.
You loved it?
I really loved this movie. You know, they really bounced back from Prometheus. I tried watching it again before watching this movie, and it made me not even want to watch Covenant. But at the end of it, I'm gonna go back and watch it again. It was that good. I love this movie.
That's really quite fair. I gave you the negative argument against it. That being said, I think the storytelling and the twists and turns that Ridley Scott gave us were quite good. I mean, he is a master at his craft. He's a master at what he does. The special effects weren't quite there. I mean, the acting, you didn't really get much from the acting, and there's this like 10-minute long like flute scene, and they're like, hey, look, we can put the same actor in the same scene, and he's interacting with himself for like 5 minutes, and we don't ever cut. Like, that was their technical achievement. They didn't want to cut, and they were having him interact with himself the whole time, which technically is a really great achievement, but it was the most boring, pointless scene ever.
And the most comedic scene. I mean, the dialogue on that scene was hilarious.
The dialogue was bad. I mean, that scene... Okay, remove that scene from the movie, and it's much better. Speed up the beginning. I was actually kind of amazed with this movie. It brought me back to my love of Alien, because I loved Alien 1, the first one, and Aliens, both very different feels, but they both had very positive qualities. This is the third best of the Alien movies, I think.
I agree.
And after Alien 3...
Alright, fanboys, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below. Let us know what you thought about our review and what you thought about the movie.
Next week, we actually have kind of a dilemma. Pirates 5 and Baywatch, both very different movies based around water, kind of. But we want to know what you guys want to see a review of, so leave a comment below telling us what you want to see next week, and we'll go see that one. I'm equally excited about both. I love The Rock.
And I love Johnny Depp. Put this in your mouth.
Yeah, he's like, and then you blow.
And then put your fingers on this hole. Dude, like, I was just like, did they think of this? Like, how it's gonna sound?
Oh, and then he was like, I'll do the finger.
Yeah, like, it was just too much for me.
I'm glad I caught that on camera. That's gonna be the end.